We're going to start now at 6:39 p.m., a workshop for Gateway Arms. We're going to just talk about a couple of things here. One, our agenda is going to be the paint project that we're hoping to do, and the email that's been going through that, people had questions and concerns. So we want to answer everyone's questions and concerns that anyone may have regarding either the paints or some of the way things were done. We know that it was a little sloppy to get the 48-hour notice. That's why we postponed it till Monday. So we apologize for that, and we look forward to doing better. And any other concerns, okay? So I am going to start with the paint project and the reason why we plan on doing it, okay?
Let's first do a roll call. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay. That's why we got you, Ricardo. Okay, so William Tavares, 302.
Tommy Quatter, 303.
Peggy McFray, 304. Sven Peach, 301.
Tom Hardaway, 209.
Denise
Bonnie Lease, 106. Oh, go ahead.
Me. Denise LaBelle, 102.
Bonnie Lease, 106.
Cheryl Walker, 307.
Michael Othal, 205.
Kyra Spindola, 202.
Okay, everybody, thank you. Isabella has a couple of spreadsheets that she's going to share with us on the Zoom. I don't know if you guys could all see it. I'll try to put this over here so everyone can see. And the first one we're going to talk about is our accounts, what we have in our accounts. You got that, Isabella? Perfect. So in our accounts right now, what we have is in our operating account, $13,840. Our savings, which is also called the slush or contingency fund, $15,233.18. And our Sears report, $102,224. So as you can see, we're doing pretty good. We have everything moving in a good way financially. And our main objective is going to be, as you see on the next slide, what 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms are paying. In 2025, the 1 bedrooms were paying $612 and the 2 bedrooms $688. Now in 2026, the fees went down about $9, $603 for the 1 bedroom, and $9 as well for the 2 bedroom, down to $679. So as you can see, the board is doing everything we can to get our HOA fees as low as we possibly can. That's our objective. That's our goal. This is our reasoning for this project we want to go forward with. Okay, how this would work. On this third slide, you're going to notice what each bedroom, what each unit pays towards what we call the Sears account. That first one, that in that list of accounts with 102,000. Okay, so the first 1 bedroom, 2026, you're going to be paying $475 a month, and $603 a month, and of that, $475 goes to the other 2 accounts, while $127.96 goes to the reserve, the Sears. For the 2 bedroom, of the $679 we pay, $143.98 goes towards that Sears account. The objective of this paint project, the objective would be so that once this is done, okay, on the next slide, you're going to see everything on our Sears account. Not that slide, one more. There you go. Thank you. This is what we have in our Sears life expectancy for all of our projects. Okay. when you go through it, it'll say roof, floor, structural, plumbing, electrical, finish / stucco, exterior waterproofing and painting, which is the one we're talking about, fireproofing, railings, and pool deck. Everything on this here, on this life expectancy, which is on the Sears, has over 10 years, except for waterproofing and painting, which is the objective of why we want to get this done. Once that is done and has 10 plus years, that money that we contribute monthly for the Sears report, and I'll just repeat that one more time to let you guys know what we're paying again per unit. For a 1-bedroom, it's $127, and for a 2-bedroom, it's $143. Once we have everything with 10 plus years, that reserve fee can go down. Okay? And therefore, bringing our monthly HOA fees down with it. And that's the objective. We're trying to make living in Gateway affordable and make it for everybody. Moreover, doing this project is going to bring everything current in terms of the Sears and help in terms of the overall building and what we have going on. Okay? People are trying to sell, and putting a new paint job, eliminating the last thing on our Sears report, will help those people sell their house. Moreover, it's going to beautify the place, something we need. So I know there were some questions and concerns, certain things that people were asking. So we're going to go through as much as we can. The first thing I wanted to bring out was we had 3 quotes. Vico Painting. Sorry, guys. The Vico Painting, the John the Greek, and Kingdom Painting. So when you go through all 3, which is what we did, the values varied from $80,000 with Vico to 56. I don't hold on. The number with Kingdom was 52.5, and then with John the Greek, 42,000. We're just going to round it up. Okay, so what we're looking to do is find out. Hold on, guys. Sorry. What we're looking to do is pick the painting company and which way we want to go, and how this would work is going to be in 3 ways. 1, we get to use money from the Sears report, which has 102,000. 2, we get to take money from the /contingency fund, which has 15,000, and the rest we're going to assess. And our objective is to keep that assessment as low as possible. That's the objective. Not only to keep that low as possible, but the bigger picture is to get our HOA fee down for next year. So there were some concerns about the building, and people had questions, and we're going to try to answer everyone's questions. So if anybody has questions, we're going to want to hear it from you. Comments, we want to hear it from you. Again, this is everyone's property, and we're trying to do the best we can for everybody, as we always do, and we always will. Okay? One of the questions that somebody had that they brought up was the concrete and whether or not we needed an engineer report. So 2 things I want to just mention on a couple of people that I talked with. Okay? The first one, all 3 companies are using Sherwin-Williams as their paint. And when I asked one of them why, they said Sherwin-Williams has the best, highest quality exterior paint. They give 10-year warranty, and their paint lasts. It is without a doubt the top paint in the paint industry. Okay, so Sherwin-Williams sent a gentleman from their company, from Vico Painting. They sent him out here to do a visual inspection of the building, and he did a report. And I looked at the report, and I asked him, because he said, concrete repairs and restoration is recommended. And I asked him about that. He said, well, in all my reports, I put that concrete restoration is always recommended. And let me just say, he goes, I did go to your place and I did not see anything that needs or indicates that repairs or restorations were necessary at this time. Okay. So he just put that in there. He went through and saw the building. Now, on Friday, this past Friday, we had an appraisal done because our insurance is expiring and we need an appraisal for the insurance. So the gentleman that came, his name was Mr. Sadeep, Jay Sadeep. And Mr. Sadeep told me he also does Sears reports as well. He is not an engineer, but he does do Sears. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Sadeep, would you mind walking the building with me and tell me what you see? He said, I would love to. So he took a few minutes and we started on the third floor, the east side, and we walked all the way down the catwalk to the west side, to the other side, the other building, and then down to the second floor, do the same thing, and down to the third floor. And he said some very interesting things to me. He said, you know, first of all, when was this built? And I told him the late 60s. And he said that the concrete that was used in the 60s and 70s is superior to what they're using since the late 80s. So when you hear about this concrete restoration that's going on, those are usually for buildings that were built in the late 80s and later because they use mixtures in their concrete. If you look at our building, it is solid. It's like a tank. And as we walked, he said, I see cracks on the stucco, but that's nothing to be concerned about. You're going to get cracks. This is Florida. You're going to have the humidity and the weather. You know, it's inevitable. That being said, he said, you don't see any rebar or any deep cracks. No cracks going up the wall that's 5 feet, 2 to 3 inches wide. You don't see any exposed steel at all, which is great. And then we went walking to downstairs. He said the only thing that he didn't even have concern about, but he mentioned was in the stairwell on the east side, on the first floor, was a big chip. And he said that could easily be fixed, and they need to fix it before they paint, obviously. The other major concern was the soffits. The soffit on the east side and the soffit over here on the west side, but it's the building adjacent to ours, if you know what I mean, right above Julian's place. So the soffits have cracks that need to be replaced. And those soffits, you come and join us? Anita's joining us. Anita's joining us, guys, so I'll just wait for a second. So those soffits need to be fixed and repaired prior to doing the paint job. All 3 paint companies did mention that they would be fixing the soffits in their report. Okay? So moving forward, as we choose a paint company and as we try to figure out this project for us, for the betterment of the community, you know, we have 3 options. We're going to be looking at all 3. We have questions, and I'm sure everybody does. So we'd like to start out, and if anybody on the board has a question, Bonnie, Denise, Kyra, if you have any questions or comments about the paint project, please speak up.
Not for me.
Not right at the moment.
Okay.
Not right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Bonnie.
And Denise. Bonnie's sick, so she can't be out here. So we'll open the floor to anybody who has some questions or comments.
Here on it's not just a crack you can literally see through, and it is breaking. You can see right through. You can see sky.
Denise, do you want to say anything? Board members?
Is this Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom. Well, we're going to talk about the different levels. Well, one, the repairing and kind of choosing colors, things like that, which I can speak about, but I think not quite yet if anybody else wants to talk. We do have also photos that John the Greek went around, took pictures of everything. So we could post that to our website if anybody's interested. So right now, that's it. Tom, if you want to bring up anything else that maybe you and I have already talked about or thought, but having pertaining only to the paint project?
Yeah. For peace of mind to know that we are doing everything that we need to do before we paint, I think it would behoove us to have an engineer look at the problem with the overhang with the hole in it and make a recommendation in a letter signed by a licensed engineer so that we're sure that we're getting the problem addressed. Because if it's left open like it is, water gets in there, it's going to be a problem.
As I saw, at least photo-wise, what you were talking about, Tom, and even with no rebar showing, you think that's necessary? And Mike, I'd love your input on that.
Well, I want the building painted just like everybody else, but the reason I spent time going through their bids is making sure that we were getting what we're paying for. And that's, if anyone bothered to read my email, it's not to shoot anyone in the foot. It's to be fair to everybody. And the two bids that I reviewed was the Greek painter and also I believe it's Kingdom. There's a lot of items in the John the Greek that he's left out. For example, the mansard roof, they're not going to paint. But Kingdom is actually including the mansard roof and the repairs. The reason I brought up the stucco repair versus the concrete is they're meeting right together where the concrete deck meets the stucco. And it looks like both contractors, I'm assuming that the Greek has got Sika. That product is definitely approved across the country. There's no question. But when you compare both bids, I have a feeling that Mr. Greek is going to be more than Kingdom because Kingdom has included everything, including painting the decks, the stairwells, and their guys are trained. I mean, I'm not saying Greek isn't a good contractor. He's got great photos, which you can use to compare. Your appraiser is correct. The concrete repairs may not be showing rebar, which is great. And the Sika gel can be used in all those spots. But the reason Tom's mentioning the engineer, once you have it done, if the engineer reviews the products and the means and methods that the painter's going to use, you're not going to have problems again. If you just slap the wrong material next to concrete or stucco, it's going to fail. That's the whole reason I went through their bid. So, I mean, I could go on for an hour, but if you read my email, I took each line item and it looks to me like Kingdom has got everything taken care of. I mean, the Greek wants us to get a landscaper to do a fine clean. They want us to remulch, and that's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to do that. But if we did, and you picked the Greek, then we got to get a price from the landscaper to do a fine clean and also do the remulching. But both contract, whoever is chosen has to provide protection when they bring the man lift into the courtyard, or they will destroy the concrete and put ruts in the grass. It's not as easy as you think. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3. A lot of these painters want to just spray the world and move on. Kingdom is going to make sure that the board approves each elevation before they move on to the next, which is really important. They're also going to provide a sample on the wall, which the Greek can do the same, but he didn't mention it, so I couldn't comment.
Let's address that is because that's something Tom brought out that I thought was very interesting, is that eventually we will propose 3 different colors to the community, to the condo, and we will paint those colors on one of the walls so that you can see what it looks like in sunshine, in shadows. It's not going to be a picture on a computer. It's going to be the real paint that will the three separate colors that will be chosen, and the community will take a vote on it. Mike, I also wanted to mention, you mentioned something about insurance, and I thought that was a great call out. So that would be something that the board would want to address, is that, I can't imagine anybody coming in here without insurance. So appreciate
Well,
calling.
they all have to have insurance. You just want to make sure that
Absolutely,
the board,
absolutely.
yeah, you want to make sure the board is named and Synergy is named as additional insured. And then that waiver of subrogation is always good to have too. That's just standard. But before you even talk colors, you got to realize that they're going to have a man lift on site for 10 to 12 days, whatever it is. That man lift is usually parked in parking spaces on the pavement, which is why long ago I said you're going to want to do the paving last. But now that it's done, whoever drops off a storage box, they're going to have to be there with plywood because it's going to destroy your paving. And then they also have to have plywood protection as they roll along wherever they're working. Because if you have incorrect displacement of the weight of the man lift, it can crack your sidewalk. It can do a whole bunch of things. So I think you want to consider a company that's going to run this job where we don't have to oversee everything they do, because everyone wants it to go smoothly. That's all. I mean, that's why I went through their bid. And I have to say, Kingdom definitely knows what they're doing. I'm not saying the Greek doesn't, but he seems to want to give us a maintenance contract and that we don't need that. We want to get the job done for whatever the total is, and we don't want to sign up for a special maintenance contract. It's not like our roof where we've got to pay them $1,200 or $1,500 a year just to keep the warranty rolling. For the paint, he also has a 10-year guarantee where he is guaranteeing that it's not going to bubble and peel. And if it does, they put it right in there that they will come back and do it at their expense. So you really got to look closely at these bids. That's what we did for the roof, and this is a major expense, and that's the only reason I put my time into it.
Okay, noted, and thanks, Mike.
Is anybody else saying anything? Anybody?
So I have something to say. I met someone, and Mike, I did take the time to read some of it, but I mean, honestly, it was very challenging for me to comprehend. Now, if you asked me to do CPR and write a prescription, I got that. I did meet someone on site, a gentleman who was Sandeep. And who is Sandeep?
Sandeep came Friday to do an appraisal for the insurance company. And he also does Sears, and I asked him to walk around with me. I guess you missed that part. I asked him to walk around with me and, look at the building, look at everything that we have going on. And that's when he came and we talked with, I think he also met with Cheryl. Cheryl, you still there? I think he met with Cheryl as well.
So this gentleman, whoever he is, recommended a milestone. He also seemed very intelligent, articulate, and very knowledgeable. But who am I to say he's knowledgeable? However, he said that an engineer was not required. But I mean, I'm presuming he's going to write as to justify his comment. But Mike, I know you have expertise in the area, so it's very valued. I think the point that I really want to bring up is we need to work together, and how we, there has to be some sort of respect, and we are neighbors, and the boards were great. I've been here for almost 27 years. Cheryl has topped me, and everybody is for Gateway Arms, and while we do need an uplift due to, being dated, it is a priority to handle the structure and the architecture of the building primary. So with that being said, I think what's important, what I'm hearing from everyone that I've talked to, it's important to handle the structure, if this engineer, whoever this gentleman is that I met, is saying it's not, let him justify why, and perhaps write it in writing and let us know. And then we all work together at Gateway Arms Condo to do what's best for Gateway Arms condo.
Well said. Amen.
Is the guy that looked at it an engineer or not?
He is not an engineer. He does Sears reports. He works with engineers. So he told me a couple of things that I thought was very interesting also. He said, your building has been here since the 1960s, late 60s. Think about how many hurricanes, tropical storms, and the severe weather that it's been through.
They don't build
And
them like this.
they do not build. That's exactly what he said. He said they don't build them like this. He goes, what they build now, they need concrete restoration. This thing is a tank. This thing is as strong today as it was in the 60s.
Absolutely true.
And he also said to me, that also stuck out. He said, concrete needs painting every 10 years to preserve it. It has to be painted. You can't not paint it, or you're going to do more damage to your building. You want to paint it. As a matter of fact, he actually gave me a good saying.
Keep it sealed.
Well, yeah, to keep it sealed. He said, let me see here what he said here. I have it over here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. One second, guys. He said, we are paying the reserves for today's depreciation, which made sense. So basically what he's, telling us is getting these things done now, in the long run, we're not gonna have to worry about it, and we're gonna continue to save. And that's the key. That is our goal today, to get this. And I'm glad to hear that people are excited and want to get this done. Insofar as a soffit, I did talk to a couple of people, a couple of roofers, and they said to me that with regards to the soffit is, first of all, they asked me how wide it was. And I said, it's probably about, the part that's cracking is about 6 inches, and then you have concrete to the right. And he said, well, I don't think I'm going to go out there for, a small job. That's the first thing. But he said, most likely it's just a stucco job where they're going to put the wire mesh, tape it up, and re-stucco it. That's what anyone that's going to do the job and fix it, that's what they're going to do. On the other side of that stucco is 2x4s or 2x6s. There's not much else in there. So it's not, to pay the money for an engineer to come to see the stucco for 2 parts, I don't know if the money is going to be 100% necessary. Mr. Sadiq did mention, he goes, any work that they do, you want to tell them, make it so that you couldn't tell there was a problem there. Make it so that it's perfect and you couldn't see that there was something there. And that's the key, getting these guys. And like Mike said in his email, he questioned a lot of things, which is great. I think we need to question. We all need to play devil's advocate and make sure we get the biggest bang for our buck, because we're investing a lot of money, not just time and energy, but money. And money's not, money's tight for all of us.
I know, but that's what makes me think that the small amount that an engineer will charge is money well spent. To have it in writing that this is what we need to repair whatever's wrong.
You're talking about the soffit.
At the corner, okay? Mm-hmm. Whatever he finds is wrong, here's what we need to fix it. An engineer says, here's what we need to fix it, and it's signed. And then to the painters, we can say, okay, here is what is need to fix this. Here's what you have to have, and here's what you have to do. So they know as well.
Duly noted. I like that. I respect that. And if it costs $3,000 to $5,000 to have them, look at a small section, then, we have to make that decision on whether or not we want to spend that kind of money.
I would also like to remind people, though, that we're here 8 to 10 years ago when the whole back end, 35 feet of mansard fell off. There was no indication beforehand of any rebar being exposed, any cracks, and all of a sudden, one day, 35 feet came tumbling down.
Where at?
In the back.
Your unit back behind
right
your
out
unit,
back
from
there
here, from the, yep.
I remember that.
Were you here, Peggy?
No, but they told me about it.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I remember it.
Got pictures. I believe.
No, we believe you guys. That's not a problem.
But nothing to indicate that that was going to come crashing down. So it's kind of like.
Again, we live in an older building. You know, surprises can happen.
And I think because that part is wood.
Yeah.
It's more susceptible. Again, that's why it's important to have an engineer look. The actual, it's
Go.
not. It's
Thanks for
not
coming, Tommy.
the actual roof.
Enjoyed
No, it's
seeing
not the
everyone.
actual roof.
not
It's a
the
stop
actual
it. It's underneath.
Yeah, and it's wood.
Yes.
It can rot and fall off.
So it sounds like to what everybody's saying, Billy, is that we probably need to get an engineer. Maybe we can find somebody for a reasonable price. Let us know the cost, how much if we all have to split it to make it in the long run, as you
To
said,
make everyone comfortable.
with the decision of a big job of painting the entire condo.
That sounds good. The board will definitely talk about that. Take that into consideration.
Maybe Batista, since they're familiar with the.
They were $3,500. I called them.
Okay.
So maybe a few checks, maybe 3 or 4. As
No,
you
we'd have to pay
do.
one shot,
Right.
and
It's
probably something where we would add it to the bill, the overall bill, and just assess everything.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It'll be a part of the bill and just assess it all.
Like that.
Exactly.
Here's the whole bill.
That if we go that route, so we'll talk about it.
Can
So
I make a suggestion when you're done?
Yeah.
Talk
Okay,
about mine.
so the reason that Tom is talking about an engineer is not so much to spend extra money. Someone needs to be there to make sure, number one, read their proposal, look at the products they're using. Would you approve this? They're going to say yes. Number two, if no one's there that knows what to look for, then you don't have anyone with oversight to make sure that the contractor's doing what they're supposed to do. For example, when we did the roof, the roofing manufacturer had a rep there for best roofing, and he checked to make sure before they covered it up, they did everything right. That's the only reason. I don't think we need an engineer there every single day for hundreds of dollars per hour. You just want them to review the products for the scope of work that they're going to do. Would you recommend this? According to Kingdom, everything they got there is exactly correct. It's only for an insurance. It's not, has nothing to do with wanting to get into this a huge expenditure of an engineer. But unless I was there to watch them do the patches, we do mid and high rise buildings here. We use the same products that they're proposing. And unless you're there to watch, you don't know what they're going to do. Going back to the Greek, he's going to leave it where you're going to notice it. And when you said, Billy, you want to look at the building and not notice a patch, he's not going to do that. He's going to do the patches. They're going to be ultra smooth in some spot. They're going to paint it and you're going to see it. Whereas Kingdom is going to make sure that all surfaces match when they're done with the paint job. And that was what I wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
Mike, do you know if the people who supply the paint, if Sherwin-Williams comes to look?
Sherwin-Williams is an excellent company, and yes, they probably would send a rep. We use it here. It's all over Florida.
That was a rep.
Sherwin-Williams.
But I mean, like during the job.
I don't see why they wouldn't. Your
They're
vendor.
guaranteeing it. When he said, I come out because we warranty it and we got to make sure it's done right. So that's why he came.
Exactly.
Sherwin-Williams gave me a report and said, in order for us to guarantee it, and he went right down the line.
Okay.
And I can even go further. You could even call Sika. There's a local Sika rep in Fort Lauderdale for sure that will make sure that your painter is preparing those cracks properly. So if we can get the manufacturer to sign off on something, it's not going to cost you anything. It usually won't. But when you have an engineer, your engineer who came out to do your appraisal, he's not going to put his name on anything.
Well, he wasn't an engineer.
Right, he wasn't an engineer.
He works for a company that does
right, but he's not a structural engineer, so he's not going to sign anything. The reason I would recommend Batista, they were the cheapest out of all the engineers. If they're $3,500 now, that's because the demand is higher and they're so busy probably. But I think they charged us, I believe it was $1,500 or $2,500 for the Sears, where everyone else was like 10 grand and up. Right, Cheryl?
Yeah, that's correct.
So and plus they know the building, but I'm not trying to add money to the job, but unless someone is there to approve what they're doing as they go along, that's what you want to do. And I'm not there, so I can't do it.
If I could make a comment,
Please.
I think that the work that's been done on the building so far when I came in the other night is amazing. I love the fence. I love the security, the landscaping. The electrical doors are finally replaced after lots of work with the city that was unproductive. I know the building needs painting. It's long past due. And I would defer to Tom's comments about having people look at it for our own insurance in the future. And for Mike, I definitely concur or defer to him because this is his area of expertise. He was very helpful on the roof, looking at the bids, overseeing the work. It really, saved us a lot of grief, I'm sure, because this is his expertise. I don't have that expertise. So I really support their comments in both halves. My main concern is the HOA. We're going to have an assessment for the painting. And our HOAs, I've had 2 potential buyers that love the apartment, but they said the HOAs are too high. I don't really want them going up even higher because we're paying for this in the future. So I would like to see the management company, Isabella, do a kind of an assessment for us. Will our HOAs for the Sears roof be increased? Is it possible they could go down? Could they go down this year? And maybe by how much, just to give us.
Hold on a second, Cheryl. Hold on, Cheryl. Hold on. There's a plane coming, so we can't hear you. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I was just saying, if Isabella and the management company could give us a written assessment about the HOAs, what would happen to them if we went ahead, if Mike thinks the middle company is the best and, would save us money in the long run, I certainly support that. So I'd just like to see what the cost would be and what the HOAs would be after the painting is done. That would be helpful to see. But I want to congratulate the board on what they've done so far, and hopefully this will go as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. We appreciate your support. We, I'll be honest. Nobody here looks for a pat on the back. All we want to do is what's best for everybody at all times. We all want the same thing, people. We want to get our HOA fees down. We want this place to be beautiful. We want people to come. If you want to sell, people are going to want to buy here because we have reserves. We have low HOA fees. Everything we can possibly do to help everyone out. People selling, people wanting to rent, people that want to stay here.
Isabella, off the top of your head, what's in the Sears part of the painting and ceiling? Out of those 10 categories, how much is in for paint? Do you know?
To be honest, no, out of the top of my head, no. But if you just give me a couple of minutes, I think I can find it in the Sears report. Let me double check, but it will definitely go down because it will go from 4 years to 10 years. So the Sears part will go down, but it will go down in 2027, not in 2026, because 2026 budget was already approved.
Right. Yeah, okay.
That's the one we're using.
We understand. Yeah, we understand that.
As for Michelle, the other question, this project, I believe, the decision has not been made yet. And of course, there's going to be a meeting and everything. But I believe what the board is planning is to do special assessment. So it will not increase the HOA fees. It will be a special assessment where you guys pay, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months for installments. And that's it. So it will not increase anymore the HOA fees. And next year, definitely the Sears, it will go down a little bit.
I wonder if we can use all of what's in the paint part of Sears towards the.
Ideally, look.
Or do we have to keep some in there?
Here's the way we're looking at it. We want to be responsible. We have always been, since we've been aboard, fiscally responsible. Every project we do, we look at the money, everything you see how much money we still have. With everything we've done, we still were able to get our HOA fees down $10, $9. That's what we've done. And we want to do more. Now, that being said, we can't, cut down our contribution to the Sears totally. We have to continue to contribute. It's dropping our fees will be how much we contribute. So the less we use from Sears now will allow us to save more in the long run, if that makes sense, because we want to keep that Sears fund. In a year from now, we want to say we have 130,000 still in there, and every project on this Sears report with 10 plus years.
Well, are you saying we can use any amount of the Sears pool towards the paint job? Is that what you?
No, I don't think we could use any amount.
Whatever already been allocated.
The reason
Whatever's allocated, right?
The reason I ask that is because we have to look at it, research it, but I think there's two ways to contribute to the Sears, and one is 10 individual accounts, and the other is a pooled account where they're all in the one account like ours is.
Yeah, that's what we have.
So I don't know if we can use part, all, half of whatever is in that pooled account.
Look, ideally, the way I look at it,
towards the paint job and reduce the special assessment.
correct.
I don't know.
Correct. Well, if we're going to add $3,500 to the bill, just to give you an idea, that's probably going to be an extra $100, $125 towards the assessment, just to let you know.
Okay. All right.
Just to give you an idea. But, the way I looked at it was, if we did go with John the Greek and we took, and I was using 17,000 and another 10,000 from the slush fund, that will leave us about 15,000 more or less, divided by 26 should leave about $600 ahead. That's kind of where I was leaving it at. That's kind of where I was the numbers that we preliminarily came up with. Those numbers, trying to get 3 payments of $200. I think that would be fair for everybody, and wouldn't break the bank for anybody, and get us to where we need to be.
Some of that would come out of the contingency reserve.
Correct.
Where does the rest of it come out?
Sears. Contingency, 3 accounts, three ways.
No, I know, but how much were you planning to take out of the Sears?
We were looking about 17K.
17,000.
Correct.
Okay. And is that what's in the paint part?
That's what I was asking Isabella. Isabella is going to come with that number.
Yeah.
So if it's only 15,000, then our assessment goes up.
Okay.
You have to. I'm just giving you preliminary numbers.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing set in concrete. There's a lot of work to be done. That's why we're having this workshop meeting.
Yeah.
Because all these questions you're asking.
No.
It's important. So we all, like I said, we all want to do things by the book, the rules per 718 and per our bylaws, and make sure everyone's happy.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
So you guys are talking about a special assessment for the paint. Didn't we just have a special assessment? You guys wanted to do another one?
That's correct.
Don't we have money saved for that project already?
Yes, we do.
So why do we need to do a special
Because
assessment?
we cannot take all the money from the Sears account, and we can only take so much from the slush fund, and the rest has to be assessed.
It would be either that or wait till next year until you have more money saved in your.
And if we wait till next year, that's going to be another year of $700 a month.
Right.
I mean, we already we have another year of $700 a month.
Correct. We have 1
We
year.
already have that.
Or do you want 1 year?
So, I mean, I don't.
It's $700 a month.
It's
All right,
like we're already paying $700 for another year, and then you also want to do a special assessment on top of the $700 that we have to pay for one entire year.
Kira. Hi, Kira. This is Bonnie. One thing with that, excuse my voice, sorry, is in a year there's going to be a lot more damage done and cracks that are going to require more attention. So that's one thing we have to consider also.
I mean, can we just take the money that we have? I don't understand why we cannot use the money for the paint if we already have the money.
Because by law,
I know we don't want to take the whole thing, but don't we already have this money saved?
Yeah, but what Tom was saying, for example, you in that account of the reserve, you have 10 different items that you need to put the money in. For example, the roof, the electrical. So every time, I don't know, Billy put the number 127 whatever, each account is funded. So what you can use is for the painting part. You cannot use, for example, the roof money to paint the building.
Yeah, but I just feel like we have been saving so much money for all those projects, and then there's always a special assessment that people need to come up, with more money. I feel like it's just a lot of money. Then we're really putting a lot of money towards saving. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's a lot of money. Honestly,
I will say this. Everybody bought into this condominium, a membership into this condominium per se. The condominium is old. The condominium needs work. And when you bought it, and anybody that's going to buy it is going to see it. And it has to be taken care of. No matter if you buy a single family home, a condo, a townhouse, if it needs work and repairs, you got to put money into it. You can't ignore it. It only gets worse and it festers.
Here's an example. The building that collapsed in Surfside, they were looking at a $15 million assessment to fix it. Unfortunately, it fell down before they did anything. Our building's not like that, but unfortunately, assessments are just part of maintaining the building.
I mean, I have a house in Plantation that I have to do a lot of work for it. I have to do the same kind of thing. I do, concrete patches, painting, everything. It's a house. When you own a house, that's what it is. We own a house. We own a big structure. We all are 26 unit owners with one big building and property that we have to maintain. And it costs money. This is a money pit, this place, period. I hate to tell you guys.
Every place is a money pit. Billy and Isabella, say we move forward. What would our time frames, let's say we do the assessment, how would we break that up into 3 payments or, like not one big lump? How would we go about that?
You will have to first decide on a quote, of course, and once you decide on a quote,
If they have to come
I
back.
think so. I think we decided we need an engineer first.
Okay.
Just-
Okay.
Is that right?
once
Go
you
ahead.
decide on a quote, well, the board will have to call a special assessment meeting, which we have to notify owners with 14-day notice. And then once you choose the quote and do the meeting, well, the board will decide on how many installments will the special assessment be, be broken into. And then all the owners will be notified, the meeting will be held. You guys vote to approve the special assessment, and then, well, everyone will be assessed and the project will start and everything. That's how it will work, basically.
Question.
Of course.
Is the plan, we don't know yet, but maybe the plan is to wait till we have all of the special assessment money before, or at least maybe have it before the project gets started?
I would say 2 things. One, first and foremost, we got to get it done by October because they do the prelim budget for 2027 in October. And then we got to approve it by November. Is that correct, Isabella?
What, the budget?
For 2027.
Has to be approved before the before January 1st of next year.
Right. So it's got to be done
In December.
before December, probably before November, I would say. You want to get it done so there's no, and if it's not done this year, then we have to wait till next year.
Okay, but that's not approving the budget. That's just the proposed budget.
Correct.
It has to be approved.
So that being said,
Yeah, but if it's
ideally,
an assessment, it's not going to be in the budget.
no. Ideally, I would like to get it done, not during rainy season, because come May, June, July, August, it probably rains 5 days a week here. you know? And so talking to the contractors, they all said it'll take about a month to get done.
Okay.
Okay. So that being said, we will start getting to work on on quotes for an engineer, see how long it'll take for them to get their quotes back and how long it'll take for them to get a assessment to us. And the assessment will will it just be regarding the soffits? Is that right, Tom? Is that what you guys are concerned about, the soffits? Or do you want to
What, the engineering
yes,
study?
the engineer. Are you asking us to do on the whole building?
Yeah, walk the building.
I mean, what happens if they just fix that and then we paint and then all of a sudden this one comes crashing down, you know?
Well, I mean,
It's
we can't control everything. We can only
But
fix
if they're
what's broken.
If they're gonna.
True.
If you guys want to tear it all down and build it up, we could do that also.
No, no, I
If
don't.
that's
want-
what you're suggesting.
I don't want to do that. I just want an engineer to survey the whole building and say, okay, here is what you need to do, and here is how to do it.
Right.
Easy, right? I don't expect them to find a whole lot. The building's not falling
No,
down.
I want no rebar showing.
They're
so-
not going to have to do destructive stuff to look at stuff.
Right.
Okay.
That being said, if everybody's happy with this, anybody else has any more comments or questions, please, about this paint job, speak up.
What about colors? This is down the road, but
Tom Hardaway wants hot pink.
and chartreuse trim. Okay, can we do that? I'm just kidding.
But I mean,
We do have a sample book. So people, I think Bonnie has it at least from John the Greek, so you can see if you're in the ballpark and being if they're all using Sherwin-Williams.
Yes, I have that.
To get a feel. This is still going to take a little bit of a journey to get all these other preliminary things, but it'd be a good idea to, if the community wants hot pink, then hot pink it will be. But
people maybe think
we can
about
have
it.
those three colors, but it's going to be 3, not 4, not 12.
But people input what they think the building should be painted, you know?
That's what we should. Here's what, in the next couple of weeks, if people don't mind, start sending us emails. Hey, I would like this color, you know, and then that way we could pick out the top 3 and go from there.
Yeah,
the best way.
absolutely.
That being said, you know, send us the email, send us your questions, and you know, we want to get this done. One more thing I'd like to say as well is that if we change the color, we do need 75 or 70%?
75%.
75% of everyone agreeing. So I will say that this is an opportunity, a great opportunity for us to make a wholesale change, to continue to add value to our property. And let's get it right one time, guys. That's all I would say.
Yeah. Talk to your neighbors. If they're not
Yes,
here,
everyone needs to talk to each other. Absolutely. And the one more thing I'll say before if we're ready to adjourn soon, is we have those shutters on some of the windows on the outside part.
Yeah.
We'd like to take those down. We would also need 75% of the people people for that, residents to vote for that. You know, we just want to keep everything uniform, keep it looking good, and make it so that, you know, make it so that it's all uniform, you know. Does anybody else have any other questions or comments about anything that went on this week or last week with the emails?
Well, it sounds like if you want to do it before rainy season, you're probably going to have to make a decision on whether to go ahead or not this year pretty quickly, and probably start the work before all the assessments are in. You know, probably the final payment, the assessments will be in if it's May.
Again, we're always.
So I would suggest maybe approaching it that way. You might not have all the money in, but you'll have it coming.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, Cheryl. We're not going to rush into it. We're not going to, you know, do a project until the monies are there or almost there, per se.
Right. That's what
It'll
I'm
take
saying.
a little while for this project to go. So, you know, with the help of Synergy, Alexandra, Isabella, and Ricardo, we will all make a educated decision and move forward with whichever way we decide to do it, whichever way we go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. If that's going to be all,
I just have one thing, Billy.
Tom has one more thing,
The,
guys.
the gates.
Go ahead. Oh, wait, that's not on the agenda. I'm sorry.
I know. Just, they haven't fixed the slamming gates. If they just put in the slow close latches.
Okay. Okay. Bonnie, if you're there, can you call Christian and tell him that the gates, I know this gate's not that bad. This front gate. It's
I
the
will
west.
call
Really,
Well,
yeah.
the
Just,
one by Tom, right?
Okay.
huh?
the west side.
The
Yes,
gate by
to the
Tom
west
is when
side of
it's
the
making all the
building.
noise, right?
It's the west gate, yeah. It clangs like hell, and because there's building on 3 sides, it echoes like hell.
Okay, Bonnie, if you don't mind taking care, I know you're sick, but if you
Yeah,
don't,
I will. I do want to ask
Tell them.
something, if I may, please. I know Peter said that he can probably help out a little bit with like tightening the bottom part of the gate so it slow closes a little bit instead of slamming. So excuse me.
Bonnie and everybody, is I thought a lot of it was just that metal thing that if we put plexiglass or something
Yeah.
like that, maybe you won't get it. And that's a minor fix that maybe Pete can take care of as long as we get on a sheet of plexiglass.
Okay, I got that on my list. I'm going to take care of that. But I do want to, I'm sorry, go ahead. If there's anybody else has any comments about anything like this, otherwise I have one more comment. Go ahead.
Bonnie, it's Mike.
Yes.
Can you
Hey, Mike.
remind them that they're missing the caps on some of the vertical posts along the north end?
Oh,
And the
yeah.
rain is good.
Yeah.
The rain is going to collect in there. It's going to rust the fasteners at the concrete. So they still owe that to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much for Mike. I appreciate that. I do want to clarify one thing. One thing about an email, I can't remember. My head is so congested right now, but it was an email about something that Billy is making all the decisions about all these projects that we're doing by himself. And all of us other board members are just agreeing with it. I do have to say that is 100% false information. I have personally met and starting with research, and met most of the vendors, interviewing them. So, no, Billy, don't blame this all on him. If somebody has questions or anything like that, it's not just Billy. All 4 of us board members are involved with the decisions. So please understand that, everyone. Okay.
thank you,
Okay.
Bonnie. We appreciate
Please,
it.
I'll answer
Yes.
questions about that. If anybody has any questions, I can answer questions about that. But that's not true information. That is false, misleading, and to be honest with you, it's kind of hurtful after all the work that we've done.
Bonnie's
I've
done a lot
worked
of
on
work,
these
and that's very
projects
expensive.
for
to be honest.
over
Bonnie
10 months.
is there more than anybody when it's boots on the ground and they have to
100%
meet
Bonnie's right.
somebody. As Bonnie is always there, dependable for us.
Thank you for saying that. And I appreciate each and every one of you, every one of us owners. And I'm here for everybody. Pick up packages for you.
Thank you, Bonnie. And I will say one more thing along those lines, that those email, the same person put an email saying that we depleted the slush fund, and that is completely false. And I think that's horrible that you would fearmonger people, say those kind of things without proof, without asking. And that's very disrespectful, not just to the board, but to your neighbors to say that, and
Yes.
be further from the truth.
Thank you.
We have $15,000 in that slush fund that we're going to use. Not all of it, of course, because we're responsible, but we take this job very, very seriously. We take our responsibility seriously, and everything we do, we try to do for the betterment of everybody here. We could promise you that. You could ask yourself one question. Do you want a board that's going to do what's best for themselves, or do you want a board that's going to do what's best for you? And I think everybody knows that this board, what we do and what we're trying to get done.
The stuff you guys just mentioned, I never heard of it until just now. So it must be stuff that's being said there. I've never heard any of this.
There was an email that went through. It was on the same email link that Tom sent. She responded with Sharon that responded, and she sent that same email last month, making those claims.
I didn't see it. I never saw it.
That's okay. If you didn't see it, you're better off. You're better off.
I didn't say that.
But it did go through. I mean, if you want to see it, I could send it to you. But I just want to bury this, and it's just shameful that it has to come to that, and
No, I don't need to see it, but thanks.
So, All right. So if there's nothing else, we are going to adjourn the meeting. If there's anybody on the board that will
One
second.
last thing. I just want to be clear. Our next immediate step regarding the painting is that we're going to have another meeting in 14 days. We're going to figure out the assessment. We're going to get an engineer, all three or one of those things.
We're going to start with looking at an engineer
immediate next step?
I think what we'll do is start with an engineer first. And
Okay.
once we get that established, then we'll start with the board getting together and deciding on who we want to pick, and then we're giving everybody a 2-week notice to do a meeting to announce who we picked, how much the assessment's going to be, where the funds are coming from each account, and go from there.
And that will definitely be at least the 14 days. Is that right, Ricardo?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. That's it, gang.
We will not give you 13 days and 23 hours. We'll do the best we can, guys. So thank you. And our apologies again for, not giving you only, the 23 hours, whatever it was, or 46 hours, not the 48, whatever it was. We'll get there.
This is like the best Zoom meeting with